Well, he just had. It looks like he had to leave in a hurry.
Blockhouse made safe. Minimal resistance. Proceeding to RV. Out.
Hello and welcome to Retro Game Connect. I'm Dan Mastriani.
And I'm Ian Butterfield.
And if you like crashing cars in Burnout, imagine destroying things with guns in a game made by the same studio. Yes, we're playing Black for Xbox via backward compatibility. So Ian will be playing
via
on,
Game Pass.
Yes, Ian will be playing on his Xbox One X. So yeah, this is basically an action movie game, which was focused on making the guns feel as good as possible, and having like a lot of destructibility and stuff. So we'll, I mean, it's a shooter from the Burnout guys, so you might already have some idea of what we're in for. So let's go ahead and check it out. Woo!
Xbox. Every console loading screen, but you just do it to the Sega. Criterion games.
Okay, you are there. Yep. There we go. A lot into the sound design for this too. Apparently, rather than having gun sounds be based on the weapon that the enemy was using, they gave them different timbres for like so you could easily tell them apart. So especially
Nice.
if you had like stereo or 3D audio going, you could tell who was shooting at you just by the sound of their gun.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like, and the game doesn't even have music during firefights. It's kind of like they designed
Michael
it.
Giacchino?
Yeah. He, I think he mainly did the main theme, but he worked on it, and along with Chris Tilton here.
Michael Giacchino has been working on a lot of like Disney stuff, like Marvel and Star Wars.
Yeah, he has what is it? An
He worked on
Emmy.
Rogue One.
Yeah, he's an Emmy winner. Yeah, they actually recorded the music with a 72-piece orchestra at the Newman Scoring Stage at 20th Century Fox.
Wow.
So what's really wild is so I'm hopefully this isn't too close to home for anybody. I didn't realize this until it was a bit too late to change what game we're going to play. But this is the game is set in Eastern Europe, where you fight Russian-speaking villains.
To be fair, it's very difficult in for many military-esque style games to avoid that.
Yeah.
The Ruskies are kind of a go-to villain.
Yeah.
I mean, look at James Bond movies until like the 2000s.
Oh yeah. But the wild thing about this is so like sound director actually went to Russia to record actual Russians. Like at least one of the people who did the voices was like a former Russian soldier.
Oh, that's neat.
So very very authentic. They actually also had like a former Spetsnaz member who gave them advice on whether the terms they were using and such were appropriate. So, for instance, apparently enemies will actually refer to grenades as lemons in Russian, because that is the that's where I'm looking for the slang that Russian soldiers use.
First class, serial number 71784.
There were no subtitle options when I looked.
Iran.
Yeah, I didn't see anything.
Colombia, Croatia.
Well,
Very impressive.
I know what you're trying to do, sir.
considering the age of this game, that's unfortunately not surprising.
What I'm trying to do. I'm here to clean up this mess. If you cooperate. If I walk out that door, everything you did will be declassified. You will be convicted. You will be discharged. You will spend the rest of your life in prison.
So
Very well, sir.
I saw some people talking about the. I didn't have any direct quotes from developers, but
Wait.
it seemed like the story may have been added on at the last minute.
That's rather amusing.
Not really their priority. Apparently, it's completely different from what they're originally going to do.
About seventh wave.
Like the developers started out with the concept that okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna set the story in Russia, and it's gonna be about I guess they had these like suitcase nukes, so it's gonna involve them in some way. But then basically a lot of the concepts, I think it was Alex Ward that came up with these Criterion. He saw them in like a lot of others coming up in a lot of other media while they were still, like pre-production. So he decided to scrap that concept and do something different.
Who was the fourth man?
Gun for hire.
Actually, like the whole concept came from.
What went
Let
wrong?
me double check. I'm pretty sure it's Alex Ward. Yeah, my phone doesn't want to unlock.
We got made.
Come on. Yes, Alex Ward. So he was from the start he was always a big FPS fan. I guess he was like really impressed by Medal of Honor when that came out on PlayStation. And of course, he's from the UK where guns are pretty much illegal. So he'd never shot one until one time he'd gone to E3. And yep, no keys, shotgun. This is how you open doors in this game. So that's one of my favorite things about the game is like no.
Ah, that is an enemy.
Yep. Yeah, you go in noisy in this game. But it's all out action, baby.
Oh, that's the grenade button. That's
Yep.
the reload. What? I don't like that.
Oh, the control's not to your liking. Yeah, I saw something that they have made sure to have different hit effects for different surfaces. So, like, if you're raking your gun across a building, it's not gonna look like you're hitting the same thing the whole time.
This is 2-5, I say again. We're pinned down. I have multiple casualties. Request priority medical
I
So,
think we have to.
okay, here's a little just an interesting detail.
Hmm.
So when I go to reload, it changes the focus of the camera.
Yeah, I think one of the concepts for this game is like the guns are the stars.
I think the vibration would work.
So there's a lot of emphasis on the guns. I saw like every gun in this game has a similar amount of polygons to a car in Burnout.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they went wild on it.
Oh no, I was saying okay because I'm pretty sure I heard an RPG fired at.
Oh yeah, no, you probably don't want to get hit by that. Yeah, there he is. There he was. Oh wait, no, he's still alive. Now he's dead.
Correct.
There we go.
Sprint button.
Here we got some. Oh. Nice.
Oh. Recon objective complete.
Cool, cool.
Oh, let's
Found a hidden Uzi.
found a hidden Uzi.
Good times. All right, so there are you guys that you got to help out.
Hammerhead 6-2, this is Alpha 2-9. We have eyes on 2-5. DZ receiving heavy fire. Multiple hostiles inbound from 5-1's location. Requesting C-130 gunship support.
There you go. I don't know if you can angle one of those grenades onto that balcony where there are a bunch of guys.
Oh! Burst fire mode.
There we go. Yeah, that seems like it would be
Oh, damn.
Did you see it? The column crushed him.
Yeah.
Nice, nice. A lot of destructibility in this. Yeah, oh, you just heard him. He shouted lemon because apparently that is what Russian soldiers refer to grenades as.
Reloading. Get me some fucking covering fire.
Switch back to the AK.
Oh.
Yeah, there we go. Get that shotgun in. I was about to say, man. This is supposed to like have one of the best shotguns in video games. Let's see that thing. There we go.
Heads up. Enemy moving out of the museum.
Yeah, no, that shotgun. Those shotguns are not working out for them.
Out of grenades.
Well, looks like you're gonna have some backup here, so get in while they're covering you.
This is Anvil 7-1. Package
Please
has
get
arrived.
wrecked.
We are standing by.
Yeah, you destroyed that cover.
Copy that, Anvil 7-1. Provide overwatch for Echo 5-1. They are moving to Rally Point Zebra. Over.
Copy that. On station.
I think you have various optional objectives.
Yeah, I've completed a few of them.
Woo! It's absolutely wrecking, guys.
RPG in the tower. 12 o'clock.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. That could be a problem. Switch to the AK. Plenty of breakable glass.
Oh,
There you go. That's what you needed.
hello.
Oh, this should be fun. Yeah, just shoot directly at him. Yeah, I got some more grenades. Very good. All right, so I gotta get back to. I've totally got off what I was talking about earlier. So I was saying that Alex Ward never shot a gun, coming from a country where it is not legal. So one time after going to E3, he decided to take a little time off. And he went to Vegas, and while he was there, he checked out a gun range. They had one of those gun ranges where you can kind of like, rent a gun and try shooting it.
Hammerhead 6-2, this is Echo 5-1. Package has escaped the net. I say again, package has escaped.
And, basically he was... That was fun. He was struck by, the feeling of like, wow, this is crazy. Shooting guns is awesome. So,
Target sights still in the perimeter. Target 4 has just entered the building west of Bravo team.
so he's like, he's thinking like, we need to...
Negative. Hold your position.
We need to, make a shooting game a Criterion. And it should be we should kind of, use it to. We need to make the guns feel really good.
Moving to intercept.
You will hold your position, Bravo.
Oh, that's trouble.
I'm moving out.
So it looks like. Or are you still moving on to just? Yeah. Okay. Well.
Well, I got some of it.
Yeah, not bad.
Oh my god!
Yeah, it's a lot of menuing. Jeez. All right. Let's see if we can do at least one more level. Shoot some more people.
All right, we're skipping the.
Yeah,
I
it's.
can't skip the cutscene.
Oh, apparently we're not.
I'm gonna keep hitting buttons in case it's like it's masking the loading.
The hallway in the first
Yeah, no, it's excitingly interlaced because this was intended for DVD resolution.
That's when I saw him.
The fourth guy?
Yeah, the fourth guy.
The after-action report you filed states he got the drop on you. But he
Well, one other thing I saw about this is
Not Russian. Not
so they actually, of course you can't get real guns in the UK,
interesting.
but what they did was
spoke to me.
And what did this American say to you?
I can't remember.
they would actually kind of made like BB guns, and they would model them after the real guns,
And your next assignment?
and that kind of helped them get the look right for the game
Stronghold at Nazareth.
by kind of building them in real life first.
Reported to RV with a Lieutenant McCarver en route to the objective?
Yes.
And another thing they would do is they would just make a quick like prototype version of the gun in the game,
That was the farm.
just to get an idea of what it would look like. And that way they would tell them if like something kind of looked funny, like say like there was a scope on the gun that kind of got in your way while you're holding it in front of you,
Hello.
so they would like move the scope or something.
Take over.
Oh boy, I'm seeing an explosive tank.
Silenced pistol.
Yeah, it seems odd for this game. Being quiet generally isn't
I
Isn't
don't
what they're
have any
going
other
for.
Weapons.
Yeah, I don't know if you have a map in this game.
2-1, 2-1. Do you copy? Over. 2-1. Do you read me? Over. If you copy,
I've never played the full game. I played the demo a few times.
Bravo,
I
2-1.
remember it being pretty fun.
Over.
Oh, I've been spotted.
That's all right. This is not a stealth game again. It's fine.
Yeah.
Now that you've shot him, you can take his gun. You got the AK. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, but you see, they got the action movie reactions too. Because the game is all about that kind of action. And it's kind of like they also wanted to make sure like the guns sounded like they were in an action movie, and the nice like satisfying sound when you shoot him. And he just clipped right into that barrel.
Targets neutralized.
As one does. AK-47 suppressor?
That's wild. It doesn't seem like something you can do in real life.
I mean, you can put one on.
I'm just saying something like an AK.
Oh, I found the suppressor button.
Okay. It doesn't seem
It's
like
why.
something that would work too well. But then again,
Well, I mean, suppressors don't work the way that everybody thinks they do anyway.
yeah, I was about to say, it's not nearly as quiet in real life anyway. It just seems like an especially noisy gun, There's another burning barrel, so I'm guessing that's where you're
Over
going.
Russians, I have the high ground.
Aha. Well, they're Russian speaking. We don't know that they're actually Russian. I don't think you can jump in this game, so
High ground.
you are completely stymied by this waist-high wall.
This is interesting.
Sadly, it's already burning, so I don't think that you out of range. They- You tried.
The aiming reticle on this is pretty meh.
Yeah, I think you're probably shooting them from farther off than you should be anyway. You're trying to be stealthy in snipe games, and Snipe Guy's in a very action-focused game. Wham. Take a lot of bullets. There we go. Doing a fun flip. But you see you hitting the tree and it looks different than it does if you're like hitting the ground. Well, that's useful. It doesn't show you what your objectives are, like on the pause screen or something. Okay.
Not really.
Not too much info.
But I found I found the universal key.
Yep. That is, again, like my favorite thing about the game.
2-1, this is 3. Do you copy?
It's like, you don't use keys, you use your shotgun. Oops, he saw you. Oh, that's interesting. Does his helmet fly off?
Nothing heard. Proceeding to top out. Over.
It looks like you can go.
Check real quick because I have to get a minimum amount of objectives.
Yeah.
I want to check up this hill real quick, and I really wish there was a sprint button.
Is there not? And can you like click the stick?
Clicking the stick does not sprint. Oh, actually,
Okay.
I think that's progress, and this is either different kind of progress or side objective. So we're going this way.
Yeah. Check that cave.
Yeah, see, crouch is left
Okay.
stick. Aim down sights is right stick.
Okay.
Grenade is the trigger. Left trigger.
Interesting.
It's very Halo of them.
Yeah, well, about that time.
I started changing that when I was playing Halo, so that way the left trigger was melee.
Yeah.
Hello there.
Yeah, this is PS2 and Xbox here, so Jeez. Because you have the suppressor on?
Yeah, I think I'm done with the suppressor.
It's like, you think they know. Ooh, this is quite a cave. Oh,
Oh, I found
Oh,
the
well.
border crossing.
it's fine.
We're going in
So-
hot.
Yeah, that's kind of what you're supposed to do in this game. There we go. It's okay, and I think you're doing it correctly. Yeah, these guys are getting close. Pull out that shotty, baby.
Actually, what I need to do.
You can go full auto, too.
First
That's a fine
shot is
option.
just not that helpful.
Yeah. Look at that sign just disintegrate. Great. I love it. Man, you're getting up close, man. You remember you grabbed the shotty. There we go.
I know.
All right.
An open area. I wanted to keep my balance.
I was gonna say there looked like there was something in the corner.
Woo!
Yeah, no, it's nothing. Okay. I thought it might be something of interest, but it wasn't.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
There we go. Oh, dang. Looks like you didn't
Grenades
set up
really
what was down
kind of
there.
suck.
That's a shame. There we go. You're shooting some people. It's fine. Oh, there's a safe. That's got to be a. Well. That's why you're. Oh, that truck is flammable.
Didn't notice that. Over, I have the high ground.
You do, and it's working out for you.
Versus that
There's a guy right in front of you. Well, he just had. It looks like he had to leave in a hurry. There we go. I was surprised you didn't set that off earlier when you threw the grenade over there.
Yes, the throwing range on these grenades sucks.
Yeah.
Target so high.
I mean, I've always been terrible throwing grenades in games, so I can't really comment. I wonder if there's. There you go. Oh, that's awkward. Okay, well, you're almost got the amount of secondary objectives you need.
Make that shot from back here.
I would say. You think you can probably blow out the searchlights, right? I would think.
That would help much.
No? That seems like something that would be in this game. That's disappointing. There you go.
Hey.
Yeah, there you go. So you got enough to clear the stage, though. Obviously, if you run into anything else. Sure, overachieving is worth something. Oh, that was fun. Yep. See how we did the overdramatic twirl and dive?
Oh crap.
It's fine. Everything's fine. You're fine.
We're all fine here now, thank you.
Yep,
How are you?
More granados.
Well, I think I'm supposed to get through this.
Yeah. I wonder if can you just shoot it, or do you need to do something else? Well, now we know you won't
I
be
can just
driving.
shoot it.
Yep, just shoot it. I should have known. The answer is always just shoot it. Might be too far. See, that's why I like this game, Ian. The answer is always just shoot it.
Got an RPG.
Ooh, somebody's taking some shots at you.
Come on. Come on.
There he is. Oh, yeah, they're giving you a path to get around him. Or not. At least they're giving you a sturdy rock, I guess. I also like the way they refill the, ammo there.
I like the way the bullets fly out as you fire.
Yeah. Yeah, so apparently they also put a lot of work into the muzzle flashes.
Neat. I was more specifically, if you look at my ammo bar when I fire, like the bullets fly out.
Oh, yeah, okay. I didn't catch that. That's neat. Cool. Yeah, no, that's you're doing good. So I guess we'll yep, just shoot everybody. Goes flying. Finish this up and that'll be good.
Hello there.
Well, I am surprised that you can't take out those lights unless you manage to just somehow miss. Oh, yeah, there you go.
Figures 2-0 until RV over. I say again, figures 2-0 until RV blockhouse is fallen over. Nothing heard. Out. 2-1. This is 3
There you go.
now. Look, Stat, over. If you read me, stage 2 now in play. I am moving forward. Out.
There we go. Now they can see you in the dark. Never mind, he's just shooting you anyway.
This way instead.
Yeah, guys, yeah. Yeah, now you're wandering off into the wilderness. I don't know if this is where you're supposed to go, but... Just screw down nice and tight. There we go. Oh, there we go. Because sworn you had the Halo one-hit kill if you melee the guy from behind, but maybe you weren't
I think
exactly
I hit him more
behind
from the side. He started
Yeah.
to turn.
You were slightly off target.
Blockhouse now. Checking the yard. Over.
Yeah, Alan Wake going on over there, I think.
Oh, great. Now we're in the control universe.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. I was gonna say you did before. Oh,
Hey, rude?
yeah.
This is 3. I have heavy forces defending blockhouse. Over. I say again, I have heavy forces defending blockhouse. Proceeding to objective with a die short.
Oh well. Again, this is not a stealth game. Going hot, blow things up. Yeah. Didn't work out for somebody. It's kind of awkward, kept kind of falling over to the side there. Yeah, I don't know how you managed to keep not blowing up other things with those grenades. Really seems like you should.
Again, these grenades really kind of suck.
Yeah. Well, I guess they want you to shoot things. I don't know. Oh, get that truck! Get that truck! It's gonna blow. There we go. It definitely seems like shooting explosives is much more effective than throwing grenades. Oh, that one went decently. I do love that you can always blow out the glass. Yeah, that one flying up. Okay. Okay. He's still alive. All right.
More.
Is bird noise coming from the game or are they coming from outside? I hear any actual...
I don't know.
Blockhouse made safe. Minimal resistance. Proceeding to RV. Out.
Made safe, huh? Yeah, there's, there are some nice little touches in your status bars.
RV in figures 3, 4. Bring it in.
Yeah, there we go. Boom. Oh, see some explosives over there. It looks like you don't want to blow those up right now because there's nobody standing by them. Except for you. Yeah, they didn't work out for him. All right. Are we close to the end? This stage is a lot longer than the first one. It's very explosive, but there's nobody there. Oh well. Got some
You know,
invincible
sometimes
bosses.
they have like hidden stuff.
Yeah. Or maybe there would have been some guys there if you were on a higher difficulty level. Kind of awkward how you can just miss guys at that range. They're all topped off. Yeah.
Area clear. Moving in.
Okay. Sounds like it's raining again.
Two one. This is 3. Message over.
All right, is this your got some music? Is this your big set piece coming up?
Oh. Ah!
Nice.
Geez, I sure wish I could jump over this 1.5 foot high wall.
Right? Gotta be able to step over that. Come on.
Literally sprinting and jumping would add so much to this game.
I'm trying to think if there are any buttons you haven't pressed that you could just be missing. Grenades. What was it leaning up against the wall? Because it didn't seem like you picked it up. Could you tell?
Whatever it wasn't important if I didn't pick it up.
Yeah. I guess.
Of that, like, no one heard that grenade go off.
Yeah, no. Very quiet grenade. Speaking, this seems like a good situation if you can get it in between them.
Again, these grenades
Well,
are the worst.
I mean, it was useful and it made him flinch, you know? I think he got him. So that definitely pinned him down so you could shoot him.
Gentlemen, would y'all like a lemon?
There you go.
Any call sign on this net? This is Bravo 3. Do you copy?
There is a lot of ammo for this gun available, so it's kind of fun to just go overboard.
Yeah, no, I see that you are well stocked. I'm not sure where you're carrying 500 rounds of ammo, but
This is 2-1. You're to sweep and clear the area for intel. We'll contact you in figures 2-0. Out.
So there's all these people around, but no one actually in here. Yeah, okay, as if that's not gonna mean someone's gonna attack me.
yeah, no, I think that's pretty
Make a
obvious.
stand here. Who puts that on a wall?
Yeah, they're clearly got just, you know, a whole lot of terrorism going. Did you walk all the way over to that and just like smush into it to see if you would do anything?
I didn't do anything.
Oh, never mind. Not sure where you got to go to actually trigger something. Oops.
I'm sweeping
save
the
that for the
farm
firefight.
for stuff. That.
Does look like stuff.
Like, this has to be a trap.
Yeah, no, obviously. Hopefully they're gonna spring it soon though, because I'd really like to wrap this up.
I have to search the farm building for evidence. I'm doing. Oh, hello.
Yeah. Getting a whole lot of extra objectives from it anyway.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Oh, wow, a whole bunch of ammo and health all in one spot? Yeah, I don't think I'm... Oh, there they are.
Here they are. Now you can start blowing things up. Does this tractor explode?
Request covering fire.
No, I think there's some red barrels behind that guy. I moved too far.
Problem
away.
is, the AK-47 is about as accurate as SAT scores are at judging actual intelligence.
Uh,
At least at that range.
yeah. Unfortunately, you don't seem to have a rifle or anything right now. Yeah, this does seem to square with my preferred way of playing shooters, which is running up and shotgunning people.
And the problem is, they have shotguns too.
Yeah, that's awkward. Yeah, looks like you got him.
This is 2-1. We have eyes on hostiles and surrounding buildings. Clear the area. We will support from our location. Over. Contact. Targets ×7. Correction, ×10. Sweep and clear the area. Move now. Move now.
Come on. There we go. I guess that's why there's all this ammo planted in there. They got
I
some
think I
armor.
just shot him through the floor. Oh, the music got more intense.
Mm-hmm. Careful, there is that's definitely looking flammable. That worked out.
Love it when a plan comes together.
Yep, yep. My question is, which buildings haven't you cleared out? Clearly that one.
Yep.
All right, 5 and 5.
Bravo 3, this is 2-1. Hold your position. We are inbound to rally on your location. Stand by.
Okay, cool. Looks like that is it. So go ahead and save your game, and there we go. We can stop here. All right, there we go. That is definitely an action movie game.
Yeah, So here's the thing. Like,
Mhm.
for its time, I could see why people liked it and whatnot. Wow, could that game really benefit from sprint and jump? The amount of times I'm just like trotting over to someone. It's like,
I will say, being stuck behind a waist-high wall has always been dumb.
it kills the pacing for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I can see what you're saying. Like, it's possible we just didn't. I don't know where else the sprint could be, but like,
I hit every single button I tried.
I don't know. Other than that, though, I do think it had a really good visual and audio design.
Oh yeah. Well, that was
I
neat.
mean, considering the age of the game, it still looks and sounds really good.
Even sounded good just through. I have my Aeropex on. I don't have any like fancy big headphones on. It still sounded good.
Yeah, like I was watching that on being streamed from your computer, and I was still constantly being surprised by how good it sounded.
Yeah. The sound effects were very chunky.
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely that's definitely something they worked on. They wanted that real tactile feel.
Yeah.
So they wanted it to feel good to shoot things.
Which, if you're playing a shooter, you want.
Yes, exactly. So it's I will say, I think, considering that this is the only shooter that Criterion ever made, that's really impressive.
But at the same time, it kind of felt like a generic shooter with like some chunky mechanics to it. You know what I mean? And it just might be because, of the amount of like modern warfare shooters that came out soon after that.
Yeah, so it's like a situation where like a game feels more generic than it did in its original context because a lot of stuff has copied that since.
Yeah.
Yeah, like how people
Even-
always like, you're like, oh, Superman's boring. Everybody has those powers. Like, he had them first.
Yeah.
It's like Superman's not generic. Everybody copied him.
Granted, I think depending on the iteration of Superman, he can be boring, but that's more of a personality in his superhero, not anything else. But
You got to write
that's
him
another
well, but that's off topic.
But
I mean,
yeah,
I can't.
it definitely, just because of like, how many, I mean, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare came out in the next generation and did, Eastern European, Russian bad guy, modern era. And then you had Black Ops doing a similar thing, which does make, in retrospect, this game feel more generic. But at the time, it's not.
Yeah. I mean,
There's
honestly, they'd already shifted some of the ideas because, like, I said this while we were playing, he shifted some of the ideas because he saw it coming out in other stuff, the things that he wanted to do, other people had done them. So he's like, well, we better toss that because, it'll just feel like we're copying these guys.
Well, and a lot of shooters at the time were still stuck in World War II.
Yeah. Yeah, so they definitely wanted to do modern because they were looking at what they wanted to do, and they're like, we want like the nice modern guns that high rate of fire and things, all that. So they wanted to.
Kind of would have been nice if there was more than just the AK-47.
I mean, I imagine there's got to be I know there's a good amount of guns in the game, so I think
I should hope in the first couple levels we got access to 4.
Yeah, we just didn't see a lot of stuff because we were early in the game.
Yeah.
And there may have been other stuff hidden in hidden nooks and crannies that we just didn't happen to find.
Oh wait, 5. I mean, I forgot about the Uzi.
Yes. And we did have we did get to try the rocket launcher a little.
Yep. But one weird thing, I don't know if it was a setting that was turned off or something. I had no rumble on my controller, which is something I personally really like for games like this. But I don't know.
I mean, I think you went by the controls pretty fast, so I didn't see whether you had vibration on or off.
I mean, it's usually on by default, but whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I turn it off all the time, but of course it could also be a backward compatibility thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Maybe the rumble doesn't work properly for emulated Xbox games.
Perhaps.
Unfortunately, I do not have an original copy of this. We are not playing this on my original Xbox. Yeah. I only ever managed to play the demo, unfortunately. So, and then, it was contemporary, so I don't want to weigh in too heavily on the gameplay because I haven't played this in, I don't know, what has it been, 15 years?
I think the button scheme was a little weird. Not the worst.
You might be able to change it too. Again,
Well, yeah, but I just when it has its default settings, like the zoom in is clicking the right stick, and the grenade is pull the left trigger.
Back then, a lot of things were using that.
Oh yeah, but the zoom in being on the left trigger, so you kind of just have this, 2 trigger action to shoot, feels so much more natural.
That's probably why they shifted to that, because somebody came up with that idea and they're like, you know what, this is good. We're gonna rip that off.
Well, and I mean that carries over to even games that have bow and arrows. You want to bring the bow up, you pull the left trigger, and then you pull it back with the right.
Yeah, I think I was not at all expecting that. I was playing last time I played Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. I was like, why can't I hit anything with my arrows? And afterwards, it was like, I needed to hold the button, didn't I? So I was not expecting that mechanic.
But overall, I mean, nifty game. Yeah. I got it on Game Pass. It's an EA Play game.
Yes.
which if you have Game Pass, you get EA Play.
Yes. So no PC version. So unfortunately, you can't like get it on Steam and pump up the graphics on your modern computer. But
if you have an Xbox One or Series,
yeah,
then you can get it.
I'm not sure if it's backward compatible on 360. But of course, if you do have an original Xbox or a PS2, I believe used copies not terribly expensive. So you can always just buy an original copy if you want to play it. I found it to be pretty neat. Like at the time, I loved that you blew doors open with the shotgun. The destructibility was good for the era.
Oh yeah.
I was pretty amused. I'm pretty sure I saw one of those columns with that building you blew up the front of it. And I'm pretty sure I saw one of the columns land on one of the guys and kill him.
Yeah.
So,
just double checked. Black, you can, if you have a 360 and a disc, you can play it.
Okay. So there you go.
It is backwards compatible.
Yes. So there you go. So not too hard to play. Even though it's not super widely ported. Worst case scenario, if you're on a modern Xbox, you can just buy it for $10 off the store. Or it's included
Honestly, if you have a
Game
modern
Pass.
Xbox, you probably have Game Pass.
I mean, a lot of people do. So yeah, that's probably the easiest option. It's just included. Yep. It's one of those games that can be like, you know what? I want to play a shooter. Here's a shooter I haven't played. It's included in Game Pass. That's a good deal. I mean, I already have like way too many games, so I just have it wish listed, and if it goes on sale for like $250,
That's kind of like how I have Cyberpunk 2077. It's on a wish list. If it gets to a price that I feel like I'll pay for it, I'll buy it.
I wanted to buy it when Best Buy had it on sale for $5, but I wasn't actually going to Best Buy on the day. It was like a 1-day sale, and it's like, well, I'm not actually going to Best Buy today.
Oh, I'd have gone to Best Buy for that.
And after the shipping, it wouldn't have been $5. So I was like, if there was something else I was getting it, like I wanted to order so that I could gotten free shipping, then I'd be like, you know what? For $5, I will get Cyberpunk 2077. Or if it had been a situation where it was like, you know what? I might actually go to the mall today. I'm going to go see if they have any copies. I won't buy that game for $5. But sadly, has not been as cheap since. I can't see what used copies cost. You could probably get a used copy that's super cheap.
Perhaps.
Anyhow, though. I thought Black.
Yeah, no, solid enough game. If you got Game Pass and you're just looking to play a shooter, give it a shot.
Yeah, I think they did a really good job for their first time. And if they'd managed to make a sequel, it probably could have, been something really good. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. But we did get some more good Burnouts. So, And now that studio is kind of...
well, hey, ever since the pandemic, we're all in Burnout.
Ooh, don't get me started.
Anyway.
Yeah. Well, anyhow, if we enjoyed us blowing the doors off of this game, make sure you give this episode a like. Want to catch future episodes in which we might have to go back to using keys? Make sure you subscribe to our channel. I've been Dan Mastriani. You can catch me on Twitter at NewTechCola.
I'm Ian Butterfield. You can find me on Twitter at ENG Butterfield. You can find the show at Retro Game CNCT, Facebook.com/Retro Game Connect, and RetroGameConnect.tumblr.com. You can also find me occasionally streaming over at Twitch.tv/Geek_Lord_42. If you like the games we played, let us know. If there are any games you'd like us to play, we can get our hands on. Drop them in the comments. If we can get our hands on them, we might just play them, or we might put them on the door with the shotgun blast.
But most importantly, make sure you join us next time on Retro Game Connect.